Record this sucker. Okay, so today, small crowd. We got Daryl Self, the Daryl Self, known throughout the world, especially Dallas. And then we have Kenneth. Good morning, Kenneth.
Good morning.
Kenneth, I can't see you.
Well, I had tape on there one time. I can't get it off.
Oh, jeez.
Believe me, I'm very handsome.
All right, I'm just going to draw a cartoon of you, and I'm going to put that as your picture.
Yeah, I missed your last one.
Well, I know. You're fired. What the hell?
I was busy selling stuff. I've already done $3.5 million in the last 2 months.
Oh, my God. Got to love that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so last time we met, we had to skip a couple of weeks because I was in Florida, and I was in Hawaii for a while. The last time we met, I showed y'all how to do, and Darryl, I'll send you a video of this from the last class.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna kind of move ahead, and when you get the video, what I'm gonna do is, because it weaned out on me, I'm gonna send you part 1 video from a previous for sub-owner class. Same information, just different people. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so what we talked about last time we met, and if you'll remember, I showed you how to get free leads from using a program called cubicsolutions.com. Daryl, write that down. Cubix
Solutions. Okay.
Solutions.com. This is a website. And Kenneth, were you able to get on that website? That
Yes.
program? Awesome. How many leads did you get since we talked last from this search?
Well, I only did it the first few days, but it was like 800.
Oh, golly.
It was 800 in 2 days?
Well, in a few days, yes, for New York, yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah?
So, Daryl, this is a pretty strong program to buy. It's going to cost you a whopping, what was it, Kenneth? $27?
I think it's 29 or something.
$29 a year.
Oh, wow. That's dirt cheap.
I know. You're going to have to take out a loan at the bank to pay for that one.
Yeah, I'll just take it out of my commission check I'm getting in 2 days.
Okay. All right. Don't forget you owe me money too, by the way. All right. So Shannon, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Were you here with us last time we talked about Cubic Solutions?
I was.
How many leads were you able to get from 1 week's of search?
Oh my gosh. It was ridiculous. It was like 2,300.
Call.
Did you hear that, Daryl? That's
yes, I did.
That's in 1 friggin' week. And so, Shannon, here's my question for you. Now that you know that this stuff is available, do you think it's a waste of money to buy leads?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes. It's crazy what's out there. So, Daryl, when we were on hold, I was listening to you make phone calls. Are you using a auto dialer?
Oh, no, that was my cell.
Okay. Are you using any kind of dialer at all?
I do have a dollar.
What company are you using?
Storm. It's part of Red X.
Oh my God. By the time you watch the video from when I show people how to get leads, you're going to cancel Red X. How much are you paying for Red X?
I would have to look. It's probably a couple hundred a month.
And is that with or without Vaseline?
That's without Vaseline.
Awesome.
And no kiss.
All right. So here's what happens. Whenever you've got all these names and telephone numbers, it's almost impossible to call 8 or 1,000, or in Shannon's case, 2,300 people in 1 week. It's almost impossible. You get to be really selective when you've got that many people. And at that point, you're really at a major disadvantage. At an advantage when you're calling people, because now instead of begging people, you're really in a situation that if they don't want to talk, shit on you. I've got 2,290 other people to talk to. So screw you. Is that right, Shannon?
That's right. And I've only been yelled at in email so far.
Okay, good. All right, so the next thing to do is I'm going to show you a program that I'm using. It's called salesdialers.com. Let me write it for you because people wonder, how are you saying that? So open up your chat, salesdialers.com. Now, this is going to cost you some money.
Oh, chat. Okay.
Salesdialers.com. Now, if you sign up with this company, use promo code 628 and they will knock off $10 a month off your bill. So here's how the program works. You're going to take all these names and telephone numbers and you're going to download it into a CSV file and download it into Sales Dollars format. It's going to allow you to make about 200 calls per hour to for sale by owners. Now, what I heard Daryl doing when he was making calls is he was leaving an individual message for each call. What'll happen is you're going to pre-record a message before you start calling. So you're going to call and say, hey, this is Robert Russell. I was calling about your house that you have for sale. I got some questions for you. Please call me back, 972-679-9029. You're going to pre-record that message. When their voicemail picks up, you're going to hit a button and that message hits their voicemail. What's so beautiful about this is that all this goes on in the background, so you don't have to hear yourself because it's calling the next person. So here's how it works. And I'm going to give you kind of a rundown, because if I show you the program, you really won't be able to get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's say that Daryl is a for sale by owner, and I'm talking to Daryl on the phone. What happens is it's going to call Shannon and it's going to call Kenneth at the same time while I'm talking to Daryl. So Shannon, when you pick up, as I'm talking to Daryl, you're going to hear a voice message that says, hello, can you hear me? Gee, there's something wrong with my phone. Let me call you back. Kenneth, you're going to hear the same message. It's called an on hold message. So Shannon, it's going to hang up with you. And then Kenneth, it's going to hang up with you. Shannon, since you were the first person that it called while I was talking to Daryl, when I'm done with Daryl's conversation, it's automatically going to call Shannon. When I'm done with Shannon, it's going to call Kenneth. And it's going to rotate the entire time that I'm making phone calls. So you're going to pre-record what's called an on-hold message. You're going to pre-record a message in case you get a voicemail so that you don't have to physically leave this voicemail every time you talk. Daryl, just listening to you on the phone for the 3 minutes that I heard you wore me out.
Well, those were video text.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on my dollar, I have that set up.
Okay, good. Now, do you like that system?
Well, I do like that system, but this was some leads somebody sent me individually.
Okay, groovy.
Not a spreadsheet, so I had to call. I video texted them individually.
Okay, that's another good thing that I'm going to bring up, video text. What I do is when I'm talking to a for sale by owner, after I get off the phone with them, I've made a pre-recorded video probably 6 months ago. And I send them a text and I attach a video to the text. And the video says, hey, thanks for talking to me today about your house. Give me a call if you ever have any questions about anything. And I send them that video after the phone call. They think that I made that video just for them. What they don't realize is that I made it 6 months ago and everybody's getting the same video. So I would add that to your calling, because I can promise you your competition is not doing that. They're not sending a video text. They're just,
that's for sure.
Here's what the average realtor's doing. They're calling a person. They're trying to get them to list on the first call. they get pissed off and they never call them back.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yep. You don't list on the phone.
Hell no. Well, I do, but it's not the
Typically.
first. But it's not the first
Typically,
call.
not the first call. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like the question that I ask all the time. When you were dating your wife, or Shannon, when you were dating your husband, when y'all went on your first date, what would your spouse have said if you asked them to have sex with you on the first date? Shannon, what would your spouse have said?
Well, he would have said, okay, but
Okay, let's turn that around. What would you have said?
I would have been like, bye.
Now, what would you have said if he said, I like you. We have fun time today. Can we have sex now?
Yeah, no, he'd have been out the door in 2 seconds. I'd have been kicked him out.
And that's exactly what the for sale by owners are thinking.
Yep.
You're trying to go to bed with them on the first date. It is not going to happen. You've got to go through a 7 or 8 process dating period before they're even open to the idea of putting their house on the market. Now, Daryl, I know that you do a lot of for sale by owners. What is your list rate? How many calls do you have to make before you're able to list a house?
About 8.
Oh, so that's a pretty consistent number then.
Yeah, and once I make an appointment, go in person, I get 3 out of 4. Because I actually have a packet that I send before I go that
So
talks about what I'm going to do to market their house, a pre-listing packet.
Okay. Daryl, are you going to every listing appointment?
Yeah,
In
right
person?
now.
Okay.
Right now.
Why right? Why do you say right now?
Because I have a team that I'm training.
Okay. Have you ever taken a listing by email?
Not yet.
Why not?
No, I haven't had one that say I'm ready to do it by email.
Okay. What if somebody said, what if you were talking to a for sale by owner and they said, okay, well, it looks like, you can help me out. What if you said this to them? Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to email you the listing agreement, seller's disclosure, information about brokerage services by email. It's going to come through DocuSign. All you do is you click on your spot and it'll electronically sign your name.
Yeah, that's how I do 90% of my listing agreements.
Okay, then why do you have to go out there?
Usually I'm going out there to make sure that there's no major issue that I see.
Okay, well, that's a valid point.
Yeah, that's the reason I go. And also when I have numbers, I don't give them the numbers till I show up.
Oh,
typically.
okay. All right. So what I
I don't
do,
send CMAs.
all right. So what I do is I do it a little bit different. I use a short version of a CMA.
Okay.
So it's not going to give them a whole lot of detail. But I'll ask them if I can show you by numbers how I can get you what you need at closing. Will you let me list with you? And 90% of the time, they will list with me after I can supply that information. The reason that a lot of for sale by owners will go with me or will go with you is if you're persistent. You got to be consistent. You have to do what you tell them you're going to do. If you tell them you're going to call them back tomorrow and
You
you
got to
don't
call them back.
you're a liar. Period. End of story. Never commit that you're going to tell somebody you're going to call them back and don't do what you say. Because if you don't, your credibility with them is gone. Absolutely gone. So let's go to Kenneth. Kenneth, tell me what your process has been with for sale by owners.
I really don't work them much.
Okay. Do you plan to?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
I know. I can see your blurry face. So
I got to tell you a funny story though. The sales dialers. Well, with the first video I watched, I guess it's your southern accent. I thought you were saying sales dollars.
I know. That's
So
why I typed it.
I looked it up and I said, "What is this? This guy's nuts." Now I know it's sales dialers.
That's why I typed it just for you. Oh shit.
I know you're down there in Lower Alabama because I was stationed there. I think I told you.
No, I'm in Panama City Beach, Florida, but I'm originally from.
That's where I was, Tyndall.
I'm originally from Louisiana. I can't help it. I talk funny. Okay, give me a break. It's you damn northern people from New York that talk funny. We talk normal. Isn't that right, Daryl?
Yep.
Shannon, where do you live? I'm
in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, so
hey,
see,
y'all.
See, we talk normal, Kenneth. You need to adjust your talk. You need
to
learn how to
be the fellow Texan, Shannon.
You need
I'm in Allen. I'm the other side of the Metroplex.
All right. So here's my question for Shannon. Shannon, first of all, how long have you been in real estate, Shannon?
3 months.
Ooh, that's exciting. All right. So when you call, have you started calling any for sale by owners yet?
I sure have.
All right. Tell me what happened.
The majority of them, I would say 90% of them, will tell me they're not interested, that they are going to try to sell it on their own. If they decide they want to work with a realtor, or if it's just not working out for them, they'll definitely reach out to me. Other ones I have talked to said, let me try this for a couple of weeks, but please call me back. And those were about a week ago. So I do have a ton of phone calls to make this week to get back in touch with them. Instead of next week, I wanted to head them off an extra week.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you're talking to a for sale by owner. He is trying to sell his house for $200,000, but you find out somehow, because you're sneaky, that he will actually sell it for $100. Asking $200, but he'll sell it for $100. If you knew that was happening, and you could show that this house is worth around $180, and he'll sell it for $100, are you a buyer? You yourself, are you a buyer?
No.
You're not a buyer?
No.
Daryl, are you?
If not me, I've got somebody that'll come right in behind me and do it.
Okay, so here's
I have cash buyers I work with.
Okay, here's the point I'm trying to make. If you go about this a little bit different than what you've done, you're going to have a greater success rate. So Shannon, we're going to do some role playing, me and you. Okay? And I'm going to separate all of these discussions by phone calls. So you're going to be the for sale by owner. I'm going to be the realtor. Here's phone call number 1. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, is this Shannon?
It is.
Hey, this is Robert Russell. I was calling about your house. Is it still for sale?
It sure is. Are you interested in buying it?
Well, how much are you asking?
$100,000. No, $200,000.
Oh, perfect. And how many bedrooms and bathrooms?
3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
And how many square feet?
2,100.
And when was it built?
2000.
Okay, perfect. My name is Robert Russell. I'm a realtor, by the way. If I bring a buyer to you, would you be interested in let me bring them to let them see it?
I sure would.
Awesome. Okay, let me get with my buyer and I will get back with you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Now, let me ask you this question. How did you feel about that conversation with me as the realtor and you as the seller?
I felt good because as the seller, I felt like you were sincere and you were really going to bring somebody by.
Okay, next call. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Shannon?
Yes.
Robert Russell again. Do you remember me?
I sure do. How are you?
Groovy. Hey, I forgot to ask you the last time we talked about the buyer. If I bring a buyer to you, are you willing to pay my commission?
Oh, I'm not doing any commissions right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Bye-bye now. How did you feel about that conversation?
As a seller, I've had that already and they don't seem to care. But yeah, as a realtor, it kind of sucks. And if I actually had a buyer, I would still bring the buy, but it would still suck.
Okay, next call.
Okay.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Shannon, Rob Russell.
Hi, see you calling again. I see you're on my caller ID.
Hey, I was calling because you know that buyer that I was telling you about, and I asked you if
I
you're
sure
going to pay
do.
commissions. Well, they ended up making an offer on another for sale by owner, and the for sale by owner paid my commissions on that house, and we're going to be closing next week. Have you reconsidered about the commission part?
Oh, I haven't. I'm really trying to sell it on my own.
How many houses have you sold on your own?
This will be my first, and I've done all this fabulous research. I
Oh,
really think I
good.
can do it.
So you're pretty up to date on encumbrances, seller's disclosures, all that kind of stuff, right?
I'm sure I'll figure it out along the way.
So you know what an encumbrance is?
Um, it sounds like a cucumber, but well, I'll figure it out.
Okay. Do you happen to have a seller's disclosure you can send to me?
I don't. What do you need that for?
You know what a seller's disclosure is, right?
No, what is that?
Well, since I represent my buyer, I can't really tell you a whole lot because I represent them. But if you will go online and look up seller's disclosure, and if you will fill that out and send one to me, I can pass it on to my buyer so that he'll know more about your house. Can you do that?
I'll try to, but can't they just come by the house and come check it out?
No, because a seller's disclosure, once you find out what a seller's disclosure is, you'll understand why I'm asking for this.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll see about getting one downloaded.
What's your email address? And I'll send you my contact information so you can send it back to me.
It's shannon.blahblahblah.com.
Okay, perfect. All right. I will wait for your email then, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye.
Okay, so on that call, how did you feel about that conversation as a seller? Not as a realtor, just as a seller.
Yeah, as a seller, finding out that I don't know as much as I initially thought I did.
How did you feel about the questions that I asked you?
As a realtor, I like them. Definitely something to use. As a seller, I've received both where they are not familiar with contract.
No, I'm asking how do you feel as a seller? I'm not asking about your past. On this conversation, how did you feel?
I felt a little where I didn't understand why they were needed and finding out that I don't know enough about selling my real estate.
Daryl, in that conversation that we last heard, who was in control of that conversation, me or her?
You were.
Why was I in control?
Well, I mean, you were showing your knowledge for one. You pointed out there were things they didn't know in a way that it wasn't like you were beating them up too.
Right.
You're saying, hey, look, when you're pointing out, hey, when's the last time you sold? Did you realize you needed these items, that they're required as part of a real estate transaction?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would put the seller back on their heels and say, well, maybe I don't know what I thought I did.
Right. Shannon, you agree with that?
I do.
Here's the thing you got to remember. When you're talking to for sale by owners, you got to understand their personality. If you don't get what their personality is, you're going to fail miserably with for sale by owners.
Yeah.
For sale by owners are what my ex-wife used to call me, expert on everything.
Oh, God.
And I still agree with that. They know it all. They know everything. You don't know crap as a realtor. Even though they've never sold a house before, they know more than you because they've read online that you don't need a realtor to sell your house because it's so easy. So what you got to understand that they're a type A personality, which means that they're not in the mood for any fluff. They don't really give a damn about what you're going to do for them. All they care about is how fast can you sell it, how much you're going to sell it for, how much do I got to pay you. That's it.
Yep.
That's all they care about. Does that make sense, Shannon?
Sure does.
So that means that the way to take control of a conversation with a for sale by owner, because they're a type A, is you have to ask questions. There you go. If you make statements, they're going to tune you out.
Yeah.
Because they don't care what you got to say.
Yeah.
If you ask them questions, they have to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So you control the conversation by asking questions.
Yeah.
So here's what I recommend. Whenever you're making phone calls, keep a little legal pad out and make tallies every time you make a statement, and then make another tally how many times you ask a question. And you'll see at the end of that conversation, if you have more tallies on statements, you probably lost that conversation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
The second reason that I'm getting their email address is because I'm going to put them on an email campaign, which means they're going to get an email from me every 3 or 4 days. And every Friday, I'm going to send them a list of houses that I sold for that week. It's kind of a subtle way of selling myself without telling them how good I am. Does that make sense? So you're going to have to come up with a strong email campaign. Now, here's what I recommend. In the beginning, when I started doing this 19 years ago, my emails were long. Then the beautiful cell phones came out, and I checked my emails on my cell phone before I even go to my computer. So now your emails need to be an effective 1 sentence only. That's it. 1 sentence. Because if you do it longer than 1 sentence, they're going to delete. They've got to be able to go through their phone, check their email, read 1 sentence, and before they delete it. So when you're devising your email program, and I use a program called Top Producer. Many people are using different kind of programs. I like Top Producer. I used it. I got it when I was with Keller Williams 19 years ago, and I just kept that account because I think it's probably one of the best email campaigns around. Plus, I've got so many people in there, I don't want to transfer it to a different system. So you need to have a strong email campaign. Send an email out to the for sale by owner every 4 or 5 days, and then send them a list of what's sold every week. What you can do, Shannon, what brokerage are you with?
eXp Realty.
All right, so what you can do is you can go to the broker and look up transactions sold by eXp in your area, and you can send an email that says houses sold this week in your area. Don't put houses we sold, put houses sold. Got to be very careful on how you word that, or else you're going to be guilty of claiming that you personally sold those houses. When they receive the email based on your wording, they're going to think that you sold those houses. Now, if there's 100 houses, don't send them that. Send them like 5 or 6. That's plenty. And if you consistently send an email every Friday of houses sold this week, they're going to think, "Whoa, she's different than all these other realtors that are calling me and hanging up after the first call," because you're consistent. You're not being pushy. You're not even talking about listing their house. All you've done at this point is you've talked about bringing a buyer to them and how much they're going to pay in commission. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Daryl or Kenneth, either one of y'all have any questions so far?
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
but I just want to say that during the role play, I noticed that you don't push back once they give an objection. You just say, "Okay, and I'll talk to you soon," which I think is pretty good.
Yeah, anytime you become defensive with a for sale owner because of their personality, they think they've won.
Yep.
Remember the personality. Big time important. Okay, Shannon, I've got your email address. Are you ready for the next call?
Sure am.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Shannon, Robert Russell.
Hi, Robert. How are you?
Hey, I was waiting for that seller's disclosure that you never sent to me. Did you finish that? Because my buyers are asking me when you're going to send that to them.
Oh, no, I never had time to pull it out and download it.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How many offers have you gotten? Because it's been like 3 or 4 weeks now since we started talking. How many offers have you gotten so far?
I haven't had any offers, but I've had quite a few people come through the house to look at it.
Has it been buyers or realtors?
Buyer, both.
So how many would you say per day?
Maybe one every other day.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
One every other day?
Yeah. So somebody's going to make an offer soon. I just feel it.
No, Shannon, that's crazy. In this market, you should be getting 3 or 4 a day. That's what we're used to seeing.
I don't have time to show every day. I have to do it on my time.
Well, if you don't have time to show it, here's my other question. How's that working for you?
Well, it's at my availability because it's my house. So, they'll come whenever I'm available.
They will?
Yeah, I hope so.
You don't think they'll get tired of waiting and move on to something else?
Not if they see my house, they'll make some time to come on when I'm available.
So let me ask you this question. Where are you advertising your house?
The sign outside.
And that's it?
Yep.
So it's not on realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia?
No, I don't want to mess with those websites.
So you're just depending on the sign.
Yeah.
That's probably why nobody knows about it. You're keeping it a secret.
Well, it's not a secret if you drive up and down my block.
But what about the people that are relocating? How are they going to know about it?
Oh, I don't know.
If you did know, what would it be?
It would be put it on social media somewhere or put it out on a website.
So when are you going to do that?
Maybe I'll put it on Craigslist.
Yeah, because all the investors are looking for really good deals on Craigslist.
Well, my house is awesome. They're going to have a great deal if they come and buy my house.
I'm sure it is. Is there any way you can send me pictures?
Sure. I can text them to you.
No. Can you email them to me?
Oh,
because I
really don't like using email.
I need to forward these onto my buyer.
I don't know how to get pictures onto email.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, text them to me. You got my number. It's the same number that came up on your caller ID.
Yep, I'll send you some pictures right now.
All right, and then I will get with my buyer and tell them that we got pictures coming.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Shannon, how do you feel about that conversation?
I feel like my seller is sinking. She's realizing she doesn't have any marketing skills.
Kenneth, what do you take away from this conversation?
He doesn't want to ever work with me.
That, the exposure is so minimal, and that's something that you could certainly talk about.
Yeah, we're moving on to that next. That's why I asked her, why are you keeping it a secret?
Right.
Daryl, any comments on that last call?
Oh yeah. I mean, the exposure is the big thing. That's the thing I ask. How are people finding their property? Mm-hmm. Is that sign magic? That red and white sign, is it magic?
But remember, I haven't said nothing about trying to list her house.
Oh, right. Exactly.
I'm still working the buyer end of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shannon, we're now on week number 5, I believe.
Yeah.
You ready for the next call?
Sure am.
This will be a blast. Ring, ring.
Hi, Robert. How are you?
Wow. You knew it was me right off the bat. That's crazy.
I did.
Shannon, let me ask you a question. You said you've never sold a house before, and I've been doing this now for 19 years.
Oh, wow.
That's a long time, isn't it?
That is a long time. Congratulations to you on that.
Want to take a guess on how many houses I've sold in 19 years?
No, I would say it's probably in the high hundreds.
So with that number, let's just assume that it's the high hundreds. With that number, who do you think has more experience, me or you?
Well, I'm sure it would be you since you're in the business.
So if you're keeping your house a secret and my houses are getting 2 to 3 showings a day, but yours only has a sign, what do you plan to do to change the outcome of your sale?
Well, nothing's really happened lately, and I am getting kind of tired of trying to make time to show this. It's just getting to be a little too much. Maybe we can talk.
All right, so let me ask you this question, Shannon. You said that you didn't want to pay a commission, and I get that. If I was selling my house, I wouldn't want to pay commissions either, and I'm a realtor. I don't even want to pay other realtors. I'm tightwad. But here's the most important thing I want you to really think about. Which is more important? What you walk away with at closing or what you pay in commissions?
What I walk away with in closing.
So if my commission was 20%, you'd be okay with
that? No, that's kind of high.
No, hold on. You just said that what's more important to you is what you walk away with at closing. Who cares what the commission rate is? As long as you get to walk away with what you need, does it really matter what the commission rate is?
Well, kind of.
Why?
Because
I got you the number that you want. Does it really matter?
Well, it doesn't if I wasn't so greedy.
Okay, but you're selling your house for $200. If I can get you to walk away with, say, $195, that's what you're going to get a check for at the title company.
Yes, I would be so pleased.
Here's what is going to happen.
Okay.
I will list your house at 7%. And here's how that works. It's going to be 3 to me, 4 to the buyer's agent. And let me tell you why we're going to do 4 to the buyer's agent. Because everybody and their brother is selling their house with 3% to the buyer's agent. If you were a realtor and you were showing houses, because we're all in this for money, right?
Right.
If you're showing houses, which one would you show first? The ones that are paying 3% or the one that's paying 4%?
Oh, definitely the one that's paying 4%. I see what you mean.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you the listing agreement at 7%. It's going to spell out that I get 3 as a listing agent, 4 as a buyer's agent. All you got to do is sign all this stuff by what's called DocuSign. You do it online. Send me the paperwork back, and we'll get your house on the market. You have any questions?
No, that sounds good. I mean, are you going to come out and take pictures of the house?
Well, let's get the paperwork done first, and then I'll tell you what the next step is after that.
Okay, sounds perfect.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Now, that is probably a more typical conversation that I have with for sale by owners. That question there, which is more important, what you pay in commissions or what you walk away with at closing? That is a strong statement to make to these sellers. And they will do just like Shannon did when you tell them 20%. Now, I told you 20% to shock you. When I hit you with 7, how did you feel about 7 after we talked about 20?
Oh, yeah, 7 sounded awesome.
7's a hell of a deal.
Right?
Who's listing houses right now at 7%? Hardly anybody.
Yeah.
Is that true, Daryl?
Very true.
So who's the winner on this transaction? Me or her?
The realtor.
Both of us are. Both of us are the winners.
Yeah. They get their house exposed and get it sold. So
Right.
They win.
So any questions about that conversation there? That's really about where I hit them with the listing, the question and I would recommend that y'all write that question down. Which is more important, what you walk away with at closing or what you pay in commissions? And then I'll hit them. So it doesn't matter whether the commission is 6%, 10%, or even 20%. What you really care about is what you walk away with at closing, right? Yes.
Yep.
And then I hit them with 7%. Now, if they want to shoot me down to 6, I'm still the winner. I'll do 6 too. Shannon, how did you feel about that conversation?
I felt as a seller.
Yeah.
I felt more at ease, a little beat down, or, in a sense, took a loss because I'm not able to finish what I started as far as selling the house on my own. But in the end, excited because we're going to get this house sold, and I'm tired. I realize how tired I am trying to sell it.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like I was being condescending to you at any point?
No.
Did you feel like I was beating you up at any point?
No.
Did you feel threatened or pissed off at me because of anything that I said to you?
No, not at all.
Okay, see, this is what you got to understand. The for sale by owner thinking is a lot different than what we are normally used to thinking. You can ask them crazy questions. They'll probably answer the question. I always ask a for sale by owner, what is your payoff? How much do you owe on your house? Most people don't have the guts to ask that question because they're afraid they're going to get pissed off. I always ask that question. What's your payoff? I want to know exactly where we're at. And if they tell me it's none of my business, I'm going to move on. I'm not going to be affected by that. Daryl, do you ever ask anybody what's their payoff?
Oh yeah, because they want to know what their net is. I say, well, I need to know your payoff. That way I can give you accurate numbers.
So when they're trying to beat you up on commission and you know their payoff, what's your comeback on that?
Right. If I can net you what you want, commission should be irrelevant. What matters is what you're getting in your pocket.
Exactly.
If I can get you that, the rest is irrelevant.
And
Correct?
that is how you avoid them trying to beat you up on commission by asking what the payoff is.
It's in public records anyway, what their mortgage is.
What their mortgage is, but you don't know how much they paid on it.
Right. You don't know how much they paid down.
And another thing, when I first started, I was not asking the payoff question. And I was letting them beat me up on commission, and I would list a house because I was brand new, I didn't know. I just was happy just to get one listed. So I'd list it at 5%. And then you go to closing and you look at the HUD and they just made $78,000 profit. And I'm going, damn, I got screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times does that happen if you don't ask that question?
A lot.
So Kenneth, let me ask you this. Based on those conversations that I had with Shannon, that whole process, do you think you could go do that process similar with, of course, my personality and your personality is different. Could you go through that process with a for sale by owner?
Yes, as long as I had it, I would have to do it step by step and have it written down for myself. That's how I work. Or I shouldn't say, written down everything, but basic script.
I think scripts are good. The only problem that I have with scripts is that people tend to read. Because what are you going to do if they get an objection you've never heard before? Now you're floundering, trying to figure out, oh shit, where's that response? What do I say? And now there's this pause because you don't know what to say. The best way to do it is to take your list of 3,000 for sale by owners and just butcher some of these calls. Just use them as practice calls. You're going to remember what I said the last time we met. The reason that most people don't call for sale by owners is because, number one, they don't have enough names to call. And so, because they've only got 50 or 60 names, they butcher 10 and now they've only got 40 left and they're afraid to call. If you have a couple of thousand names, who cares if you butcher some calls? Because you got more coming next week. The other problem that the other reason that people don't call for sale by owners is they don't know what to say. They don't know how to handle the for sale by owner and their personality. The personality is key to this whole deal. Most for sale by owners have a type A personality. You've got to learn how to take control of the conversation with questions. Does that make sense, Kenneth?
Yes.
Daryl, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I mean, the big thing is if you ask the same questions every time, you're going to get the same objections. So
exactly.
That's the good part of a script. I mean, I have scripts I use and I have them memorized, but I don't sound like a robot.
And
just
you know what you're going to say.
Questions every time, they roll off my tongue.
Because you've heard the same stuff over and over. And after you've done this for 18 years, there's really nothing you haven't heard before.
Exactly.
So Shannon, I like that you've only been doing this for 3 months.
Yep.
If you go after the for sale by owners and like really go after it, you can make a buttload of money going after the for sale by owner market. I mean,
absolutely.
Kill it.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
She hasn't learned the bad habits yet.
Well, hopefully she won't.
Hopefully. Right.
Now, Shannon, if you had to do the whole process and call people, how do you think you would do?
I think it'd be okay.
Okay. Well, guess what?
What?
Today's the day.
Oh, I knew that.
Today, you're going to call between Daryl and Kenneth. I think Kenneth is probably more a for sale by owner personality than Daryl is. They're pretty close, but I think Kenneth is right there with the for sale by owner personality. So you're going to call Kenneth, who's a for sale by owner. Kenneth has a house for sale in Fort Worth. Now, Kenneth, I know that you're from New York, but you're a New Yorker who moved to Texas. And you want to get the hell out of Texas and move back to New York. Okay?
All right.
So, Shannon, get after it.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi. Is this Kenneth?
Yes.
Hi, Kenneth. This is Shannon Barron. How are you today?
Great.
Hi. I saw that you had a house for sale in Fort Worth. Is it still on the market?
Yes. Are you an agent?
I am. I'm with eXp Realty.
Oh, okay.
So is your house still for sale?
Yes.
How much are you selling your house for?
$250.
$250. Oh, awesome. And how many bedrooms and bathrooms is it?
4 and 3.
I actually have a couple of buyers that are interested in a house, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in Fort Worth for that price. Are you showing the houses this week?
Yes, but I'm not paying in commission to an agent.
Oh, you're not?
No.
What's the reason why you're not doing any commissions?
I want the money. I don't want to give it away.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I totally hear you on that one. All right. I understand. If we could get some buyers in there, though, would you be willing to part with any commission?
Not at this time.
No. How long has this house been on the market for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And have you had a lot of people coming through to look at the house?
Yes.
Oh, have you had any offers?
A couple, but very low.
Low ballers?
Yeah.
That's never good. So have you had any agents bring in their buyers through?
No.
Oh, okay. It's just been buyers strictly just coming through?
Yes.
And I saw that you had it for sale out there on Craigslist. Are you listing it anywhere else?
I have it on Zillow.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Well, I would still love to bring my buyers by, but before we do, because it is a little bit away, are you able to send any documentation because you didn't have any you only have the one picture of the front of your house out there. Are you able to send me some pictures of your house and possibly a seller's disclosure on the house?
What's a seller's disclosure?
Oh, well, a seller's disclosure is just your information about your house. It's a document you can find online that you basically fill out, and it gives us all the details about your house.
Well, I think I'd have to research that.
Okay, well, would you have time to pull that today? Because I really want to get my buyers out there.
No, not today.
Oh, well, would you be able to send me more pictures today?
Yes, I can do that.
That would be awesome. And can I get your email address?
Yep.
Is that the rest of the email address?
Yes.
Sounds perfect. I love it. Okay, well, I'm going to just send you a little reminder. And in the meantime, could you also just pull up the seller's disclosure? Like I said, I have quite a few buyers interested, and I would love to get them out there.
I have to look that up. Yeah, I got to look at that first.
Okay, well, I'll send you a reminder. I appreciate talking with you.
I don't want to sign anything yet.
Oh, I'm not asking you to sign anything on our end. I'm just looking for more documentation on your house so I can show it to my buyers and we can make an appointment to come out there.
Well, you said documentation.
Right, but that would be signed by yourself. You're not signing anything with me.
Yeah, I don't want to sign anything.
Oh, okay, well, you can just fill out the paperwork and not sign it. We just want to see what you know about your house.
Okay, whatever that means.
Okay, how about I send you a link to the document and you can take a peek at it and let me know your thoughts on it.
Whoa, stop.
Oh, okay.
Slow
Who is
down.
this person on the phone? Who are you? Who's coming on my call?
This was like three calls in one.
It was. Okay, so let's get some critique on this. First, Kenneth, let's go with you. How do you feel about this whole conversation as a seller?
It was a lot to take in.
Oh my God, ain't that the truth?
But he's selling it by himself. I mean, I can't be the only person who's ever called him, right? I'm always like, oh my gosh, another realtor calling.
Shannon, I want you to write down 2 words.
Stop talking.
Slow down.
No, here's the 2 words. Are you ready?
Okay.
Shut up.
Oh.
You're talking too much. You're overwhelming him with wording. Remember, personality. He is a get to the point kind of guy. He is a bottom line thinker. He doesn't have time for all of your questions. Get to the point. You got to slow down. It sounds like you're excited on the phone. That's a beautiful thing. I like that. But condense that to a shorter version. You want him to come after you instead of you going after him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I upset you?
No.
Okay. Daryl, what is your critique on that phone call?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is ask the question and be quiet. It's that let them talk, like you say. He's a get to the point, get it done kind of guy. And as far as the seller's disclosure, I mean, just say, this is us telling you what you know about your property. It's online. If you don't know how to find it, then that's something we can discuss later. But
yeah, if you don't know how to find it, you probably didn't need to be selling your house by yourself anyway.
Exactly. It's something that's required when you sell your home.
So Shannon, my recommendation on that phone call is to keep it brief. I tell people when I'm training people one-on-one, I tell them the best time to call a for sale by owner is when you got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Do you know why? Because you got to go. You ain't got time to chit chat. I got to go to the bath. I got to go pee. Hurry up.
That's a good one.
Okay. So
I got a question about, we call property disclosure. Is that the same as what you're saying?
Yeah. They call it different things in different states.
Yeah.
Then it says, how is this? Is this in good shape? Have you had any improvements? That, like that?
Yeah, that's it. You know,
Okay.
in Texas, we use a 7-pager, 7 or 9. I don't know how long that is.
Because
now.
I thought you were talking about like an agency disclosure.
No.
Oh,
Seller's
that's
just a property disclosure.
We don't, like I said, we don't call it that. So that's what I was wondering.
I have to step away for just a quick second. I'll be right back.
We're almost done. She's got to go to the bathroom.
I do the bathroom.
Kenneth, listening to her make phone calls, if you were a seller, how soon do you think you would have hung up on her?
Pretty soon.
Like at what point?
When she kept hammering away at, getting the seller's disclosure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I run into all the time. I mean, I have sometimes a hard time when I have a listing appointment with a friend and I got to sign all this. People don't want to hear about it.
You know what I tell them? No, you don't have to sign it. You'll just get sued if you don't. No big deal.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want. You're the seller. But I'm not going to help you.
Nope.
Put it on them. Put it on them for sure. Okay, so next week, what we're going to do some more role playing. We talked about sales dollars. I would really look into that. If you already have a program that works for you, keep using it. I like sales dollars because it'll also send out automatic emails after every call. So if I leave a voicemail, I can send out a special email based on the email that went out. If I'm talking to somebody, I can also have a different email go out. It's already programmed. It knows when I talk to somebody based on how I disposition the call. So if I disposition for it to leave voicemail, it knows to send the email that's dispositioned that I left a voicemail. If I talk to them, then it's also dispositioned to know that we just talked. Thank you for talking to me today about your house. Give me a call if you have any questions. So it's a great system. You ought to check it out.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to talk about how to work the for sale by owners and get for sale by owner leads through MLS. Your MLS has leads in the MLS. Usually names, telephone numbers, sometimes email addresses, but most people aren't calling these ex for sale by owners. They're just forgetting about them and they're not calling them. I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into my MLS. Kenneth, you're going to need to go into your MLS, so have it up and ready on the next call. And I'm going to show you how to find expired for sale by owners. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to send out today's video along with part 1 video of an already pre-recorded video. Daryl, I'm fixing to mute you. I'm going to send out a pre-recorded video of a for sale by owner part 1 training that I did. You won't be on there because it's a past, but it covers the same thing that I went over in the first video, like Daryl missed and all of y'all. I'm going to resend that out today. Then I'm also send out this recording. If y'all have any questions for me, call me. My telephone number, 972-679-9029. All righty. Well, y'all have a good week, and we will talk to you next week.
That phone number, I tried it. It goes to an office, right? Or...
That's my cell phone.
Oh.
972-679-9029.
9029. Okay, I'm down in Tampa right now, just to let you know, too.
Oh, sweet. I hear it's like 96 right now in Tampa.
Bradenton, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, nice place. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
It's exploding.
Move. Get your ass down there. All right. Y'all have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now.